Welcome back, folks. It is a sensational Saturday. I'm Josephine Sage. Let's jump right into the forecast right now. As we take a look at these weather headlines, we're going to notice that cooler temperatures are on the way. These last couple of days, those afternoon temperatures have definitely felt on that warmer side of things, a few degrees above those seasonal averages in the mid 80s. But as a low pressure system kind of centers over the Great Basin, that's going to send that unsettled weather, that cooler temperatures, that chances for showers through Sunday and the early work week, and a little bit of some elevated wind speeds our way. Those wind speeds could be 20 to maybe even 25 and 30 miles an hour in some regions, even pushing to be 40 miles an hour as we look into the higher elevations. Now, I do want to chat about how this is going to center on over the Great Basin. As that moves on in, we're going to notice over Nevada, over Salt Lake City is when that low is going to start to close. And that's going to send all that cool temperatures our way, and those wind speeds will be more northeastern, well, directioned, again, reaching up to that 30-40 mile an hour range, especially over those northern Rockies and even through Wyoming. And our almanac will show us from earlier today, we were pushing about 10 degrees above those seasonal averages at 85 instead of that typical 75. But as soon as we get into tomorrow, we're going to drop just about a full 10 degrees down into those low 70s. And on that low end of things, we are pushing a few degrees above what we're used to at 55 instead of that typical 47. And I've got Harley hanging out with me for the dog walking forecast. We're going to notice sunny skies can be expected into tomorrow, and those peak temperatures will happen just around that, 3 to 4 p.m. hour. And as we take a look ahead, that overall setup, we're going to notice moving on in the unsettled weather, that chance for showers moving on through Nevada, but it's really going to stop just around that Salt Lake City area, at least until Sunday, where then it'll cross that border and especially give those northern areas that chance for showers. Our overall setup for Sunday, we're going to notice it's going to start to span as that low pressure system pushes more eastward, with that upper level low increasing chances for rain along the Rockies and of course for us here on the western slope. Now, because of these warmer temperatures right now, we're not going to feel much of that moisture, but into tomorrow in those 70s, we do have that chance for that rainfall to finally reach the ground. And our pollen forecast hasn't really shifted too much. We're looking at low trees, low grasses, an excessive amount of weed pollen, and some low mold pollen. So it definitely hasn't shifted too much, but if you're sensitive to that weed pollen, you're definitely going to want to try and stay inside. Now, fall, folks, it did start just last weekend, just 7 days ago, and those cooler fall temperatures, like I mentioned, are on the way, but we're going to notice in Telluride, Crested Butte, Aspen Vale, Steamboat Springs in just, a couple of days is when those peak fall colors are going to start to happen. Following that, those surrounding areas closer to the Front Range and that dark red are going to start to change. And for us here in the Grand Valley, our peak temperatures our peak colors, aren't really going to start until the later days of October. And that extended forecast, like I mentioned, we're dropping down into the 60s in the early work week. Sunday and Monday has that 30 to 40% chance for rain, and Montrose is just a few degrees cooler, even dropping down into those low 60s, 61 degrees on Tuesday, and those evening temperatures are even hanging out in those 40s, and come Thursday, 37 degrees during that nighttime hour.